Today we celebrate and honor mothers and those who mothered us. The short scripture we just heard comes from the 5th commandment. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord your God gives you, which is Exodus 20, verse 12. And this commandment, for all of us who have mothers, and parents in general, must be taken seriously. Not only because it is a matter of the Old Testament revelation, but because the obligation to honor parents is one that is reiterated and reinforced by the New Testament, such as this scripture, Ephesians 6. To honor is to respect greatly, regard highly, treat with deference and courtesy. That comes from the Webster Dictionary. So we are commanded to give our mother and father the respect and reverence they deserve. Well, maybe some of you may say here, but you don't know my parents. You don't know what they did to me. I hear you, yeah. But this commandment doesn't say, honor your mother and father if they have been good to you. It says, honor your father and mother, period. Let us remember that there are no perfect fathers or mothers and no perfect children. It may be that you find it hard to honor your parents as persons. But at least you need to learn to honor the position of motherhood or fatherhood. We may not like the President of the United States, but we should honor and respect the office of the President. You get it? And here is what honoring does mean. It means choosing to place great value upon our relationship with our parents. It means not kidding myself into thinking that my parents don't matter to me. It involves taking the initiative to improve the relationship, whatever its current condition. It means recognizing what they have done right. And you may say, well, they haven't done a lot of right, but they have done something right. Even if it is little more than giving you life, and that is big. So, we're called to express our recognition. We're called to acknowledge the sacrifices they have made for us. So honoring includes seeing them as Christ does, with compassion and mercy. It means forgiving them as Christ has forgiven us. The Apostle Paul was right when he says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child, but when I became a man, I gave up childish ways. That is in 1 Corinthians 13:11. Tragically, some grown-ups continue to act like children toward their parents. And when you become an adult, it's time to stop playing the child role. It's time to stop, going, well, she has to say first. They have to initiate that. They're the ones that started it. That has to stop. It's time to honor your parents. If you are an adult, you take the first step. Take responsibility for your relationship with your parents as part of your relationship with God. Write or say the words of honor to your parents that you hope your own kids will express to you. To honor, the honor you give is the honor you receive. In Grimm's fairy tales is a story related to this. It is the story of an older man who lived with his young son and his son's wife. They also had a 4-year-old boy. The old man's eyes blinked, his hands shook, and when he ate food, the silverware would rattle against the plate. He often missed his mouth. Food would be spilled on the tablecloth, and this upset the young wife. She appealed to her husband to do something. They decided to move their dad to a corner at mealtime away from the family. He would sit alone in the corner eating out of a bowl, sitting on a stool. The old man would look sadly at the others and desire to be with them. One day, the man dropped his bowl and broke it. His son and daughter-in-law said, "If you eat like a pig, then we will serve you like a pig." They made a wooden trough for the old man to eat out of. Not long after, they came upon their son playing with some pieces of wood. And the dad asked what he was doing, and the boy looked up and smiled and said, "I'm making a trough to feed you and Mama when I get big." The next day, the old man was back at the table eating with the family again, and no one ever scolded or mistreated him again. The honor you give is the honor you receive. Today we honor mothers. And in my ponderings about, what it feels to be a mother, of course I'm not. But there's no doubt that mothering is the toughest and hardest job that you will ever have. With the arrival of the first child, a woman undergoes a titanic change. A shift in identity and responsibility for what she was or did before. She is now forever a mother and in charge of the life of her child until it is grown. And after her child reaches maturity, she remains a mother in a more nuanced way. The child is a profound and humbling gift to receive, and at the same time, the child is poised to receive everything a mother can possibly give. And don't let the parenting brochures fool you. This is a life of hard work and sacrifice. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and she told me that motherhood, and this is how I described it. She said, motherhood is messy, crazy, exciting, wonderful, laughable, frustrating, tiring, and so much more all rolled into one. Motherhood, she also said, is terrifyingly magical and magnificent. It is exhausting in the best way. It's an ongoing work in progress, kind of calling like nothing else on earth. So today, we're here to celebrate, to honor mothers, to pause and say to all of you, thanks, Mom. Thanks for all your hard work and throughout the year. And I think that we don't probably say thanks, thank you enough. I read the other day of a husband who was feeling guilty because he had not been very attentive to his wife. He had not said thank you enough, and he decided to change. On his way home from work, he bought a box of candy and some flowers to surprise his wife. And he walks up to the door and rings the doorbell. She opens it, and there he stands, candy in one hand, and flowers in the other, singing, "Have I told you lately that I love you?" And instantly she starts crying, big old tears, big, and just gushing out of her eyes. She sobs, and she says, "Oh, Harry, everything went wrong today. We had a leak in the plumbing. The kids were terrible. The house is a wreck, and now you come home drunk." Have we said thank you enough? Of course, I have to recognize today that there are many women and mothers who have little to celebrate today. Because every Mother's Day hits them like a salt in a deep wound. And my heart aches for them and with them. Mothers, who put teddy bears or flowers on the children's graves. Mothers who gave birth to babies they may never see. Mothers who find it very hard to make ends meet. Mothers who are trying to make Christ real to their families, but mothers who do not know Jesus as a Savior, nor how to cast their care on Him. Mothers who are elderly and may feel unwanted. Mothers who have no husband to share their responsibilities. The widowed, the divorced, the single. Mothers who have lost their mothers way too soon. Mothers whose children have gone astray. Mothers with difficult homes. Mothers with difficult husbands. Mothers who have given up their own dreams to offer someone else her world. My heart breaks for them. To all those who absolutely dread Mother's Day, please know this. You're not alone. It's okay to be sad, mad, or frustrated. Please know that God loves you, and that God especially draws near to those who are hurting. You don't have to be excited that it is Mother's Day. It's okay. But please know that you are loved. Friends, honoring our parents is one of the highest callings and the greatest tests we face in life. And I suggest we start honoring our mothers by telling them we love them. Our spouses need to hear it, our children, our mothers too. Some men would say, well, I'm just not turned, that way. Then turn around. And someone would say, well, I'm not just comfortable. Then be uncomfortable. I would suggest we honor our mothers by loving them patiently. Mothers have an incredible job without pay. No position in the business world compares to the physical, the emotional, and spiritual commitment she has in motherhood. And to the teenagers here, to the young adults here, to the young kids, it is unfair for you to be more kind, considerate, patient with your friends and your friend's mother than your own mother. If you treated your friends like you treat your mom, you wouldn't have friends. And if you treated their mom like you do yours, their mom would not let their kid have anything to do with you. Because mom deserves better. And for adults, living with parents or living with mothers, love them patiently. They need your patience when they don't hear what you say the first time. I know how tiresome it is to always be repeating, but sometimes they must ask to repeat. They need your patience patience when they think too much about the past, with their slowness and their set ways. They want you to be tolerant with what the years have done to them physically. In their older days, our parents have many fears and have many anxieties. And we treat them as we've hoped to be treated when we are in their shoes. We know that the caring of our parents is seldom as rewarding. It is an irony indeed, but those who were once parented by fathers and mothers often find themselves parenting their parents in their final years of life. The parent, that often fed the child may in the last days of their life be fed by their children. The new baby that did not recognize its parents may someday look upon his elderly mother or father and not even receive in return a look of recognition. The child who was once parented now becomes his parents' parent, making decisions for them, sometimes having to make choices against their will, even deciding how to allow artificial life-preserving devices to maintain some semblance of life. There is no thought less pleasant than this, but for many has been, is, and will be a reality. My dear brothers and sisters, honoring parents, and especially mothers today, requires much more than an occasional Hallmark card. Let's not take parents, especially mothers, for granted. Just remember that there are many out there who no longer have a mother to take for granted. Reflect back on all she has done for you. And take time today and tomorrow and the next week to show her how much you appreciate her. And take time to ask for forgiveness. Because when we have been in their shoes, we understand what it is to be a mother. I want you to look at this, asking for forgiveness on our behalf on Mother's Day.
I'm sorry, Mom, for all the endless piles of laundry. Arms up.
I'm sorry for not giving you one moment of silence.
I'm sorry for everything.
I'm sorry, Mom. For all those times that I came home late.
Sorry for always fighting over that.
For treating you like an ATM machine.
For breaking your heart over and over by thinking I knew better.
Parenting is the hardest thing I've ever done.
But I've learned how to do it from you.
Thank you for teaching me.
That giving of myself is the strongest way to live. That allowing my kids to fail will teach them the greatest lesson.
Thank you.
For teaching me that I can go one more day.
That parenting is the greatest honor in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day. Thank you.